The rain had started without warning, turning the quiet roadside into a silver blur. Aisha wiped her hands on her worn apron and looked up from the small repair shed she ran beside the highway. Business was slow these days. Most travelers passed by without noticing the little wooden sign that read bike repairs, honest work, fair price. She was about to close early when she saw him. The motorcycle was old, powerful once, but now coughing and stalling like it had finally given up. The rider struggled to push it to the side, rain soaking his leather jacket, exhaustion written on his face. He looked around, as if embarrassed to be seen helpless, then his eyes met hers. For a moment, neither spoke. Aisha stepped out into the rain without thinking. "Looks like your fuel line's clogged," she said, crouching near the bike. Her voice was calm, practiced. The man blinked in surprise. He had expected advice at best, a lecture at worst, not a woman already inspecting the damage. I don't have much money," he said quickly, almost defensively. "If it's expensive, I'll just wait for help." Aisha shook her head. "Let me take a look first." She worked quietly, fingers moving with confidence. Grease smeared her hands, rain flattened her hair, but she didn't seem to notice. The biker watched her, confused by her focus, her refusal to complain. Within minutes, she loosened a valve, cleaned the line, and adjusted the engine. She wiped her hands again and nodded toward the bike. "Try now." The engine roared back to life, strong and steady. The sound cut through the rain like a promise. The man's face changed instantly, relief, then disbelief, then something deeper. "Gratitude. How much do I owe you?" he asked, reaching for his wallet. Aisha hesitated. She looked at the sky, then at his tired eyes. "Nothing," she said finally. "You looked like you needed help. That's all." He froze. "Nothing." She smiled softly. "Just ride safe." He tried again to insist, but she had already turned back toward her shed. With one last look, he mounted the bike and rode off into the rain, the red taillight fading into the distance. Aisha watched until it disappeared, then returned inside, unaware that she had just crossed the invisible line between her old life and a new one. The next morning began like any other. Aisha opened the shed early, swept the floor, and brewed weak tea on a small stove. The highway hummed with passing vehicles, none slowing down. She told herself she was content. She had learned long ago not to expect miracles. Then the black SUV appeared. It slowed, stopped. The engine purred softly, nothing like the rough machines she usually worked on. Two men in neat suits stepped out, scanning the area like they were lost. Aisha frowned, wiping her hands. "Can I help you?" she asked. One of the men smiled politely. "Are you Aisha Khan?" Her heart skipped. "Yes. Why?" Before he could answer, the back door of the SUV opened. The biker stepped out. He looked different now. Clean, confident, powerful in a way that had nothing to do with his bike. His eyes met hers, and he smiled, not the tired smile from yesterday, but one filled with certainty. "I told them to stop here," he said. "This is the place." Aisha stared, words stuck in her throat. "My name is Adam," he continued. "Yesterday, you helped me when you didn't have to. You refused payment. You didn't even ask who I was." She shrugged nervously. "It wasn't a big deal." Adam shook his head. "It was. To me." He gestured toward the SUV. "I run a transport and logistics company. I own over 200 vehicles. Yesterday, I was riding alone to clear my head. The breakdown, it wasn't just mechanical. My life felt stuck too." She listened, unsure why he was telling her all this. "I've met many people who charge for kindness," he said. "Very few who give it freely." He handed her a folder. Inside were documents, numbers she didn't understand, signatures that looked important. "I want to invest in your work," Adam said. "A real workshop. Tools. Training. Employees. Not charity, partnership." Aisha's hands trembled. "I don't understand." "Why me?" "Because skill can be taught," he replied. "Integrity can't." Tears blurred her vision. She had dreamed before, quietly, safely, never daring to believe. Now the dream stood in front of her, impossible and real. Within weeks, the shed became a workshop. Within months, it became a hub. Young apprentices came to learn. Travelers stopped not just for repairs, but for trust. Aisha worked harder than ever, but now every long day carried purpose. She and Adam spoke often, at first about business, then about life. He listened when she talked about her struggles, her past, her fear of hoping too much. She challenged him too, grounding his ambition with honesty. One evening, as the sun dipped low and the workshop lights glowed warmly, Adam watched her teach a young girl how to handle an engine wrench. There was pride in Aisha's smile, and peace. That day on the road, he said quietly, "You didn't just fix my bike." She looked up at him. "You changed my direction," he finished. Aisha smiled, understanding now that kindness, when given freely, has a way of returning, not as coincidence but as destiny. And from that rainy roadside, a whole new life had begun.